Ladies and gentlemen, it's your man Breon Rice, and welcome to Breon's Journey. It is Monday, November 27th, and if you're watching this, it's probably a whole different day, but today I leave for MEPS. And MEPS stands for Military Entrance Processing Station. I'm joining the Air Force, and this is one of the final steps. Right after this is DEPS, but this is one of the final steps before I am able to join the Air Force and go on to boot camp or BMT. Now, this video's purpose is to show the whole process and experience as I'm going through it. I'm gonna give you guys all the lowdown, all the detail for it. Hey guys, so I already pre-packed for MEPS the night before, but I leave in about a little over an hour, so I want to show you guys what all I packed before I go. So the main things that my recruiter told me to bring before I leave for MEPS is my birth certificate, my high school diploma, my social security card and license, and I'm just bringing my college credits, transcripts too, just in case. And I also have some notes, that way I can take it if I need to. I got a pen, paper, bring the essentials to the hotel with me, you know, cologne, deodorant, lotion, toothpaste, a brush, portable charger, a solution for my contacts just because I'm staying overnight. Of course, I have my bag to put everything in. First form, check it out. Then, you know, I have a spare change of clothes, you know, just some clothes to throw on for the night or for the day, some sweatpants, also a shirt to work out in, just because I think that way, you know, if there's a gym at the hotel, I want to work out. That's just me. But also got to bring a coat because it's cold up in Chi-Town, it's cold up in Chicago, and I'm definitely not trying to get sick at all, so bringing that baby with me. Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty simple, you know, you just bring the documents that you need and bring a change of clothes because you're going to be staying in that hotel. I'm going to be staying up in the hotel in Chicago for about, you know, today, it's Monday, and I'm going to be staying there until Tuesday. I think my recruiter told me that's when it's actually, I'm going to be going through the process of MEPS and with the doctors and getting checked up. So I'm going to show you guys what my recruiter had sent me, you know, before MEPS to get ready for. It's pretty much a layout and PowerPoint in preparation and what to expect when leaving for MEPS. What it looks like, you know, Chicago MEPS brief, preparation. With success, the separation is in the preparation. I like that. I like that quote. Getting to MEPS, vehicle transportation if needed will be arranged for you. So that's why I'm going there at 3 o'clock and we're leaving shortly after that. Meals and overnight lodging accommodations if needed will be arranged for you. So that's good. You know, they're going to provide us meals when we get there. Looking forward to that. I am hungry. Probably will eat before I leave though, for sure. Most applicants will share a room with another applicant. So I guess I'm going to have a roommate tonight and you will only pay for extras. So testing, each applicant is required to take the ASVAB. Well, I already took that about a month and a half ago. So I already got that out of the way, so I don't have to worry about that. And that's night testing. And then same day, test in the morning of your physical. So Tuesday morning, I'm guessing, is that when I'll be taking my physical with the doctors. Complete a questionnaire on your medical history to make sure everything that you said is okay and right as you put down on paper with your recruiter. Physical exam, so this gives an idea of what they're going to be going over. You know, your height and weight measurements, hearing and vision, making sure you're able to see and hear things, urine and blood tests, drug and alcohol test. Make sure you haven't been, you know, smoking any weed or anything like that because that is not allowed in the military or before you join the military. Muscle and group movements, so, you know, doing different stretches, doing different movements. Specialized test if required, so I guess that's if you're going to spec ops or anything like that. You know, there's a whole lot more testing that you have to do, more in-depth testing that you have to do to be qualified for that. This is also for the women. So if you're a female trying to join the Air Force or the military, this is what you'll be going over. I guess you have to take a pregnancy test also. Make sure you're not pregnant before joining. And then after that is DEPS, and DEPS is your delayed entry program. after you're done your physical ASVAB, you will be given a list of jobs, and you'll also be going through, if you're physical ready. So that means push-ups, sit-ups, making you sure you're still qualified, the running also. So that's just all preparing before boot camp pretty much. And yeah, so that gives you a pretty general layout of what I'm going to be going through, and you guys will be able to see all that. Alright, so I just got back from MEPS. I got a lot of information to give to you guys. So for those of you that are wanting to join the Air Force or the military, or for those of you that are just curious about my experience at MEPS, I'm going to break it down for you beginning to finish. So my recruiter had us, it was me and one other person, meet him at the Air Force recruiting office at 3 o'clock, pretty much so he could give us a lowdown of what all will happen at MEPS and what all to expect. He also stressed the importance that everything that we said to him and everything that we put on paper is exactly what we say and put on paper at MEPS verbatim. Now, the reason for this is because if you say something completely different at MEPS that you didn't say or put on paper with the recruiter, you can get sent back or disqualified because you just now disclosed false information pretty much, which can result in disqualification from entering the military, jail time, and fine money. Per se. That's what they say. Don't know if it actually happens. I didn't want to take that chance of lying at all, so I just kept it real and exactly what I said. After the recruiter broke down everything that we need to know and any questions that we may have, he sent a car up to pick us up at the office at 4 p.m. so they could escort us up to MEPS. And the car ride actually went a lot faster than expected when we were on our way to Chicago. We didn't have to deal with any Chicago traffic, so that was great. That was a plus. We finally put up to the hotel. It was called the Crown Plaza, which sounded really familiar to me. And when we put up to it, I'm like, I've seen this hotel before, and it's actually pretty cool because I actually stayed there the last time I was in Chicago. I was in Chicago last time around the springtime, around the summertime, for a fitness expo that I stayed with a bunch of my guys who represent First Form. So, it's cool being back at the hotel because it actually is a pretty nice hotel. It's high quality and may just be one of the best hotels I've ever stayed at. Once we got inside, we were directed to the room, the lobby where we all staying at. It was called, actually, the name for it was called the Freedoms Club. And the Freedoms Club is pretty much a room for MEPS where everybody that's joining the military can gather for meetings, fun, and socialize. They had, of course, we had our meetings in there, we had check-in in there, but they also had, pool tables, movies, video game systems. So, just a nice place where we could all socialize and gather up and, just relax until the next morning when we actually get down to the real serious stuff and go up to the doctors to meet for MEPS briefing. So, shortly after we were able to check in, get our room numbers and our roommate assignments, my roommate actually happened to be the person I went up to Chicago with, so that was pretty cool. We were also handed food vouchers for dinner because they also, they paid for our meals, it was on them. And then the restaurant there was actually pretty nice. I had already known that from the last time I stayed there, that the food, is high quality. It's almost like a real restaurant, and it's honestly probably one of the best tasting restaurants I've been to. So after me and my roommate finished up dinner, it was about time to meet up at the Freedoms Club at 8:30 for our meeting with the lady in charge. She pretty much broke down, all the rules and regulations for while we're staying there. If you're able to leave the hotel, or if you're planning on leaving the hotel, you have to check out first. There could not be anybody of the opposite sex inside your room, and you can not be anybody else at all inside your room besides your roommate. Curfew was at 10. No loud music, no drinking the night before MEPS. They will also breathalyze you when you get there, so you can get caught up with that. And wake up call will be at 4 a.m. That's pretty much when we have to get ready. Get down there, get ready for breakfast. We got an early day ahead of us, and you cannot be downstairs any later than 5:05 a.m. because we'd have to get ready to get on the bus to go to the MEPS facility. Me and my roommate actually headed up to the room like shortly after, about 9 p.m. we headed up to the room to get ready for bed. It wasn't that easy going to bed because I usually don't go to bed honestly until 4 a.m. which was the time we had to wake up in the morning for breakfast. So that was weird for me, just trying to get my body to go to sleep that early. But I made it happen. I understood, man, I'm going to be up all day going through all kinds of tests. I had to take my ass to bed and get ready for this day ahead of me. And if you're a person like me, you have to have multiple alarms set. So, I had an alarm set for 4 a.m., 4:05, 4:10. I woke up that morning, hopped in the shower to get me a wake me up because we couldn't have coffee or any type of monsters, any type of sugar. So the shower is just gonna have to do to get myself up and, you know, wide awake. So got done with the shower, we headed down to have breakfast. Had breakfast with a couple of the guys. The breakfast was pretty good, but the thing is, the recruiter stressed to us is don't have any sugary foods, don't have any juices, don't have a lot of protein, bacon or stuff like that, bacon and eggs, because that can also throw off your levels when you're going through testing with the doctors. So you don't want anything that could harm your results. So, you know, I try to keep my plate a little simple, you know, just sticking with a bunch of fruits, but low carbs, not a lot of sugar, and just stay away from syrup and, you know, bacon and stuff like that. I also had water instead of juice. You know, they had orange juice, apple juice, coffee, you know, energy drinks, stuff like that. I stayed away from them. I saw a bunch of guys just loading up their plates like, you know, it was a continental breakfast. Don't get it wrong. I wanted to do that, but I also knew the bad outcome that could come from that. So, you know, I try to stay away from it, even though I wanted it, even though the breakfast looked amazing and everybody was just stacking their plates like they were just at a buffet. I knew I couldn't do that, so I try to make the smarter choice. You know, while you're sitting down there eating and you're around people from all over, it's pretty cool, you know, just being there and, you know, socializing, because you actually meet people from all over, and you meet people from, you know, different races, different trends, different backgrounds, you know, and even different branches. You know, there are some people there for National Guard, there's some people there for Marines, you know, Army, Navy, so Coast Guard. You know, it's good meeting people from all different branches, and, you know, just really getting to know them, what their MOS is, what they're looking forward to in their careers, and, you know, where they're going to go for boot camp and where they want to end up at. You know, it's cool getting to know people, know other people's stories, and, you know, just relating with each other like that, because you're all going to go through, at least, not the same, but you're all going to go through the experience of, you know, boot camp and B&T, and having to go through, you know, the struggle to get that label, that title. But after breakfast, it was time to head on the bus to get ready for MEPS. They had one charter bus, and then they had one regular bus. I ended up getting on the regular bus. We had about 50, there's actually a lot of people. There's about, you know, 20 people gonna ship out though, but then there was, you know, a lot of people, there were about 30 people there from MEPS. So, you know, we had a pretty decent sized group. We all got in the buses. Had to wait a little bit before it took off, but then the MEPS facility wasn't too far from where we were staying at, so we got there in about 10 minutes. Now, once we got inside, we had to form two lines. This line went all the way from the top of the stairs, wherever that was, because I couldn't see, I was in the back of the line, to all the way to the entrance of getting into the facility. So this line was all the way backed up. We had to form two of them. And this is pretty much how it went down. Now, there was a security guard that was in charge of getting us, you know, all regulated and all through and all clear to go through. But this is what he sounded like when he was talking to us. I want you all in single file lines, true single file lines. If you're shipping, move up. If you're shipping, move up. You should have all bags and jackets off. Put your bags in front of you. Put your bags in front of you. All belts off, all cell phones off. There should be nothing in your pockets. Nothing in your pockets. The only thing that should be in your pockets is your social security card and your license ID. Your social security card and your license ID. Put your bags in front of you. Put your bags on your chest. Take them off your back. If you're wearing dress shoes or steel-toe boots, take them off. If you're wearing dress shoes or steel-toe boots, take them off. Come on, you gotta be quicker. Listen to instructions. Listen to instructions. Listen as you're told. I'm not yelling at you. Listen to instructions. So better believe I listened to instructions. I wasn't trying to get yelled at like that when I got up the stairs. So, you know, I took my bag off, put it in front of me. I didn't have any boots or anything like that on, so I didn't have to worry about that. I took my belt off, made sure my debit card was inside my book bag. Only had my license, my social security card in my pocket, and my cell phone was off. So by the time I got up there, it was clear right through. Once I got in there, they had a room where we would stash all our book bags, all our belongings in. We couldn't even have our cell phones out, so your cell phone had to be away in that locker room where they kept everything locked up at. We got in, we had to meet with our liaison, which is our person in charge of our selected branch. This is an example of what my liaison has said to me. From here on out, you are only to respond by using yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. Do you understand? Yes sir. Understand that the way you're going to be spoken to is not to be taken any way personally. Do you understand? Yes sir. You are to be attentive and listen to every instruction given to you carefully. Do you understand? Yes, sir. You may now proceed. Right after, I proceeded to the consulting desk where they had pretty much all my forms, all my paper, all my past history, all the medical questions I was going to be asked, all the forms that I needed to have filled out throughout this whole MEPS briefing and process. The line was pretty long, and I guess they were trying to get things going because they had a lot of people to go through, you know, a lot of testing with not that much time. So a lady called us and she was like, okay, you 10 come with me. So us 10, we went to a room where they also had, you know, the same type of testing going through, where they had a camera, a computer, pretty much needed our fingerprints from right thumb, left thumb, and also needed to snap a picture of us as well. The lady I was with, you could kind of tell she was already fed up with today. She is probably maybe just as tired as we were, and you know, she had me take my picture. The camera wasn't working. She was getting really irritated with that. I also was getting really irritated as well because I was sitting in front of this camera while it's just automatically like flashing in my face, but I guess she couldn't get it to fit right. So it's like, okay, we're gonna have to do it over again. And then she just said, forget it. And they just handled it at the front desk where I had to go retake my picture because she was like, oh, we don't have your ID. Did you already get briefing? I was like, yeah. But yeah, she just wasn't able to get the picture done for me. But right after that, I was able to move on with my forms and go into the medical services desk where we line up and actually get started with all the exams that we needed to go through. This is where they began separating people. You know, they separated the guys from the girls. There wasn't that many girls to begin with. There was probably only like 10 girls there out of the 50 people. And yeah, they would separate people into separate rooms and separate chairs. My group, we went into this one room where they pretty much were checking, you know, just filling out our medical histories if we had anything, and they stressed the importance that if we must not lie about anything, everything must be straightforward, and that we would be breaking the law if we had put any false information. And we had to also check to that we were not putting any false information. So that was just a medical history fill out form. We also got breathalyzed in this room, and the liaison that was in charge for it was in the Navy. And this is an example of the time where I got yelled at, not because I was drinking at all or not because I didn't pass the test, but it's because I didn't listen to instructions carefully. So this is an example of how it went down. Here's me taking a breathalyzer tube out of the package so he can get ready to put it in his breathalyzer device. Open it. I didn't see you take it out of the package. Throw it away, throw it away. We gotta get a new one. I didn't see you take it out of the package. Listen to instructions carefully. Opening a new tube and wait for him to tell me when to open it. Okay, now you can open it. Alright, I want you to stick it in. Then I want you to take a deep breath, then blow. Me taking a deep breath. Do you know what blow is? I didn't say blow in, I said blow out. Now follow me. Deep breath, then blow. Here's me blowing out. Deep breath. There, you see that? You see that? It shows zeros. Good. Now throw it away, sanitize your hands. Now the old me, the past me would be kind of embarrassed of getting talked to like that in front of about 20 people. But the now me also understands that I need to listen to instructions carefully and take this very seriously and be precise about what I do. So, you know, I took it like a man, threw it away, went about my business, on to the next step. Alright, so the next step was waiting in a line, a row of chairs, to wait for my name to be called for the color vision test. Once I got up there, she asked if I wear contacts or glasses. Obviously I had my contacts in, so she told me to begin the test. She wrote down contacts worn. Passed that test. It was about 14 different numbers, had about 5 seconds to answer each one. Got a 14 out of 14 on that one, so passed the color vision test with flying colors. Next after that, it was hurry up, go on to the next process, wait in a row again of chairs and wait for my name to be called. Now these processes went a lot slower than how I'm describing them. It was a lot of hurry up and wait. That's what this whole MEPS experience and process was hurry up, wait in that line of chairs. Hurry up, wait in this line. Hurry up, wait for your name to be called. So, I mean, each wait was about half an hour, even longer, especially towards the end. It got to about an hour long. You could be in this line, half an hour in this line, 45 minutes waiting in this line. So I go for the vision test right after that. I'm waiting in line, waiting for my name to be called. Then it's time for me to go in. First test they had me do for the vision test was a depth perception test, where he would show a little small glass case. It would have circles in it, about 5 different circles. You would have to point out which one stood out the most, which one had the most depth going in or out. Passed that. Next up was the eye vision through the system. Don't know what it's exactly called, but you had to look into, put your head, your chin against the device and look into it and read each letter. First time was with my contacts in, second time was with my contacts out. I could see pretty damn clear with the contacts in. Now on the other hand, when I had to take the contacts out, I couldn't see nothing. It was very hard to see. I was pretty much guessing letters and going out on a limb. Still passed with my contacts worn. Right after that, it was hurry up, get over to the other side of the hall so I could go through with the urine test. Now, I had been holding my pee for about 3 hours because I knew this time was coming and I didn't want for it to be time and I could not go to the bathroom. So I held it for the last 2 or 3 hours. They were calling up 4 at a time. So I waited there for about an hour till our name is called. A lot of people were waiting. Some people had went right before the pee test, so they had to go drink a bunch of water at the water fountain just so they could be able to pee again. We were just sitting there laughing at them because they were like, bro, we're at the urine sample station right now. Don't you think you could hold it a little bit longer just so you can go and get it over with? That's how we thought. So the group of 4 finally get out. The man has us grab, a cup for us to have our samples in. We get in there, and this is an example of everything that he told us once we got inside to take the urine test. All right, so before we go in, I need you to confirm that this is your social security number. Is this your social security number? All right, then put that on your cup. Signing date here. All right, let's go inside. All right, you guys, before we do this, I need to understand that I need to see you physically pee into that cup. I need to physically see you pee into that cup. So, line up, go in the urinals right over there, put the cup on the right side. Once you're ready to go, fill it up halfway or a little over half. I need you to fill up that cup at least halfway or a little over half. I need to physically see the pee leave your body into that cup. Now the way he worded it was just a little bit awkward, but we went about our business anyway. One of the guys actually got pointed out because his pee came out clear, but it was because he was one of the guys that went to the bathroom beforehand, and he had to drink a whole bunch of water. So the nurse actually said he ended up being overhydrated. Well, after we were done with that, we were on to the next process where we'd have to go down to the hall to get our blood drawn. And actually it wasn't that bad. A lot of people, were sketchy about this part because of the needles, I guess. They don't like getting stuck with needles. I actually didn't really mind. It didn't even hurt that bad. It actually went by fairly quick. The part that did take a long time was this next process, which happened to be the second to last process, where we sat in a line of chairs waiting to get examined by one of the 3 doctors that were in line. And, we had to be waiting in this line for about an hour, maybe even longer. But as soon as somebody would leave the room, then the doctor would call somebody in. 2 of the 3 doctors were fairly old men, and one actually stood out to us a lot. When he would open the door to let the next person in, he would literally just stare at us, and then he would point his finger at one of us, do this to come here, and then he would slowly close the door while still staring at us. We definitely did not want to get stuck with that guy. That just creeped us out a little bit, maybe a lot. It creeped us out a lot. But unfortunately, I was lucky enough to get stuck with not 1 doctor, but 2 doctors, because it was a female doctor. I guess for every female doctor, they have to have a male chaperone. So that was kind of awkward for me. I was like, damn, I would get stuck with 2 people in the room. And the reason it made this awkward was not because of the medical tests. They checked our medication history, any injuries, any illnesses, asked questions like that. They checked my mouth, my eyes, my ears. But then after this part is when they had me stripped down in my underwear and lay on the table, lay on the bed. Once I laid on the bed, that's when she was pretty much examining my body, checking my heart, and this is when she claimed that I have a heart murmur. Now this is something I have never heard in my life from any doctor, so this kind of threw me off guard. I'm like, I've never had any heart problems in my life. Now she had me worrying about if I was going to qualify or not. I'm like, why would you pull this stuff on me when I'm just about through with the whole process, I'm on the second to last step, and then you want to pull the heart murmur on me? I was like, fine, I'll deal with it. I just got to do whatever I have to do to make sure so I can prove that I don't have this. But anyways, after that, she had me stand up. Granted, I'm still in my underwear, and this is when she tells me to drop them. So, I drop them, not that I wanted to, in front of two strangers that I don't know at all, being completely naked and vulnerable. But I drop them. This is when she grabs my testicles or balls and has me cough, and then she grabbed my penis. Yes. Very awkward. Two people right in front of me. He's sitting right there. She's sitting right there. I'm standing over her. Yeah. And then, to top it all off, she had me bend over the chair that I was sitting in when I got in here to check my butthole. Yes. Another very, very weird ass situation I've never been in. And they will make you spread your butt cheeks. So just know, if you're a male, I don't know if the females had to do this at all, but if you're a male and you're going to MEPS, be prepared when you get in the exam room to be touched. Yeah, to be touched. But after that, I was able to move on to the next process. Well, the last thing she had said to me is that, I would have to get reevaluated with another doctor to see if this heart murmur is actually a real thing and how serious it is. So I was like, way to buzzkill me, doctor, way to buzzkill me. Now I have to go back here just to prove that I don't have this, and I got extra stuff to worry about now. But after that, I was able to go into the physical room, which was the last step. So in this physical room, this is where we had to perform stretches and movements, yes, again, down in our underwear. So it was about 10 other guys, you're all lined up, and you're performing all these stretches and movements in your underwear, just waving your arms around, wiggling your legs around, and doing squats and duck walks across the room. The doctors would, make sure you can curl your toes, you can rotate your ankles, you can stretch your arms out, you can put them above your head, above your eyes, above your shoulders, stuff like that. But on some of these movements, I couldn't fully stretch out my arms because, I'm not a scrawny dude. I do lift. So yeah, sometimes my joints aren't able to stretch out all the way. So they're really picky on me about not doing it. Even one of the guys pointed out that was directing the stretchers. He even said that dude, he lifts. He's fit. He can't really stretch out his arms all the way like that. And I was like, thank you, man, thank you. At least somebody realizes, not everybody is scrawny and can just go straight out like that, But anyways, I got done with that, and it was time to go to the medical services desk, which they pretty much gave us, if anybody needed to be reevaluated, they gave us our dates and what we needed to do. And then they sent us off to our liaison, where we would get an idea of our job assignments and then our shipping date. But unfortunately for me, since I had to be reevaluated for this heart murmur, I was technically not completed with MEPS yet. So that means I couldn't swear in today. And that's kind of a bummer for me because I was looking forward to that all day. I was looking forward to getting through the test so I could swear in and so I could go into the DEP program, which would make me that one step closer to shipping off to BMT. So, with that being said, I have to go back to MEPS, unfortunately, but I'll be leaving here again for MEPS December 10th and 11th. But the good thing is I won't have to go through all that testing that I just had to go through. The only thing I'm going to have to do is get reevaluated by the cardiologist and have them check my heart. They'll send me up to the doctors to do all that. Then they'll send me back to MEPS, get that reconfirmed. Unfortunately, they won't get the results in a day. But after that, they get cleared, and then I can just leave back home. But then I have to come back up again, my staff recruiter said, just so I can swear in for DEPs. And that'll be the time where they have the results, so that way I can swear in for DEPs. So, it's a lot longer process than I wanted it to be. I just wanted it to be a one-day, sweep. I get it all done, but, things don't always work out in your favor, and sometimes you have to work a little bit harder for what you want. So, I'm going to go through with it. This is something I want. I didn't put in all this time. I didn't use all this time for nothing. I'm going through with it. I'm going to do what needs to be done so I can swear in, get in the DEPs, and then I can ship off for BMT. So I'm still excited about the process, and we're gonna get this done. I'm also gonna keep you guys updated on what all goes on with that too. So you know, this pretty much gives you guys the layout of what all happened. So like I said, if you're joining the Air Force or if you're joining any type of military branch, I pretty much laid it out, everything that happened in my experience there. And you know, there's more to come, so I'll keep you guys updated on what happens when I go back to MEPS. There won't be a lot to say, just if you know, I passed my results, what the doctor did to check if I had heart murmurs or not, and we're gonna continue on this journey. I want to help you guys as well as tell my story of my journey. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any questions about it at all, or anything I didn't say, or any experiences you might have been through, leave a comment below. I'll be happy to get back to you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.